You've tuned into The Mountain Gardener with your host, Ken Lain. Gardening, it can be challenging, but with these simple insider tips, you'll reap huge rewards. Now, let's tune into today's Mountain Gardener with Ken and Lisa. And welcome to this week's edition of The Mountain Gardener. Your host, Ken Lain, here every week, talking about the landscapes of northern Arizona. Oh, it's kind of sad to think this is the last show of the year. But a new year is coming. It's very exciting what's happening. Spring is already starting to arrive here at Watters Garden Center. We're starting to get new pottery, fountains, statues, benches, bird baths, that hard goods. We call them hard goods, hard things that aren't living. They are hard goods. So it's your fertilizers, your mulches, your statuaries. These are all things that don't need water to keep them going. It's hardscape. Softscape is the plants, the soft material. There's things that soften up. So those vines that soften up that brick wall, the privacy screens that give you exclusion as you're in the hot tub. Those are all softscapes. So that's kind of an industry kind of lingo. Now you're up to date on that. We've got a lot in store this show. I thought I would start by sharing, what am I starting to do? So winter. It's winter now. It's chilly finally. It's been beautiful, actually. So finally, I'm starting to prune, clean things up, prune back perennials, grasses. Thought I'd just go through the list of what I've been doing in my own yards. And I take a while. So I really don't have that much to do at the garden center because it's softer right now. So we close down between Christmas and New Year's, and I just give the whole team off. So go refresh, spend time with your family, with your friends, just get recharged because we're coming back in January 2, full steam ahead. Here we go, go. It's coming. And then the classes will start back. I think January, when is that? 10th, something like that. So we've got a garden series. The spring session is starting in a couple of weeks. And then it's full court press starting whenever the nice weather in February hits. It's like we're filling up 2 acres of garden centers. And so we've got a little time right here where I can just spend some time in my own backyard. And that's what I do. So I'm cleaning things up. I started with my grasses. So we've had some beautiful grasses. They're all brown now, not all of them. The pampas grass has some green left. That's the really big grass. It's taller than you and I. I don't really have that one in my yard because it's too high. It's such a high needs grass. I just go, I don't need that much. I'm doing some of the smaller ones, the coral forester grass, the zebra grass, the miscanthus, the buffaloes. These are all, if it's brown right now, you can go ahead and cut those back down to the ground. Literally, I mean, I just take my hedgers and I go, a few ankle high. There's a lot of slop factor. Just get it close. What you don't want is new growth coming up. Usually it starts the end of February, March. You're starting to see new tender growth coming up. You don't want that blending with the brown, the green. Then it's hard to clean out. Ugh. Just do it now. The first snow we're going to have is going to get everything to lay down anyway. So just cut it back at your convenience. You're going to fertilize it here in a couple, 6-8 weeks. It's going to ignite with fresh, new green growth. And you'll just go, oh, I love spring. But it's time to clean those things up. Frequently, I'll take either my hedgers. I've done weed whackers, a little sloppy because that cord kind of wraps around the grasses, or my favorite, lawnmower. Just kind of whack it off and down to the ground. It's a perfect height, and it's done. So whatever is in your pruners, you can go that old school. Just take the pruners and cut them back as close as you can. But cut your grasses back. I would say by the end of February. You got a couple months. Just go for it. I had some time this last week, just before the holidays, and I went, I'm going to do it. Just cut it back. It's time. And then the second one that took a half a day. I have a massive emery oak. There's several types of oak trees that grow here. There's the leafed ones. These are the pin oaks, the red oaks. They're quite famous in the higher elevation, like Groom Creek, Highland pines, they just grow wild. It's got the classic oak leaf shape. They've turned red for the fall and they've dropped their leaves now. You can rake all those up. You can shape it and trim things up as you need. They don't need a lot of high maintenance. The ones I was dealing with were the scrub type of the evergreen oaks. These are ones that don't lose their leaves, at least not until spring. They will. Usually March, April, they start to, as the new leaves come out, they force the old leaf off. So it's got a brief moment where it's not many leaves on it, but it's not very long. And then fresh new leaves come out. What I found was they grow kind of wild. Had this wild, they're going between the houses and they're almost touching both houses. This is a gigantic tree. I'm going, oh, listen, you got to grow up and be beautiful. You can't just be mangy and grow straight out. I don't need an umbrella. I want a majestic, beautiful tree. So I started shaping the tree, finding the main branches, going, you're okay, you're going to grow up this way. It's kind of artistry, a good pruning, a good pruner. So I got the artistry in there. We're getting to go. And then I found, wow, this tree is really diseased. Some oaks, you can find a small ball. It's usually orange, not always. It can be brown. Mine were big brown. Some of them were orange, kind of the size of tennis balls, the bigger ones. Some of the smaller ones can be the size of a large marble ping pong ball. None of those are good for your oaks. It's called a gall, G-A-L, gall. And it's a disease that kind of gets on there. And if it gets bad enough, 1 or 2 galls, not a big deal. This one had hundreds. And by the time I got done cleaning this thing up, I cut it right back to the main core going, okay, we're going to help you come out fresh next spring. And trees, remember, plants, they feel pretty when you get done. They like to be cut on. They like to be shaped and groomed and beautified. They feel beautiful when you get done. They like to touch and interact with the gardener. They like the feeling you have with cutting back, giving them haircuts. Don't be afraid. It's hard to make a mistake because you're going to fertilize here after you're done pruning. It's all going to come out fresh, new growth, and it will never know. It will put all of its energy in the remaining leaf and flower buds that come back. So don't worry. I think most folks are just, they worry too much. They're too anxious about pruning back plants. They don't realize plants, they like it. Grasses like to be cut back to the ground. In fact, my zebra grass already had some new stems coming up. I went, oh, well, I want it all to be even. We're cutting the green and the brown. We're all back to the same level, right back to the just below ankle height. The oak tree had some leaves left. It's got a beautiful, beautiful form, and not one gall is left on this plant. It is completely disease-free. Oh, she was just thanking me so much for this. It had been a couple of years. I should have done it last year. I just didn't take the time. And it's an oak tree, especially a big one. It's kind of where do I even start? And so I just started by stepping back and going, if I'm going to run my forehead into a branch, you got to go. If you're going down to the ground, you got to go because I want up and beautiful. If you're going out and trying to touch the houses, you got to go. I just started with the got to goes. The growing to the inside of the tree instead of out flowing in a vase shape, you got to go. If you had disease on it, you had to go. And so by the time I got done, there's just a couple branches left, and I just gave it proportion, and it was beautiful now. And so you can start this pruning process. Your fruit trees, now your oak trees, if obviously your shade trees like maples, sometimes they get this wild locust. They get these branches come straight down to the ground. It's like they want to grow into the ground. What are you thinking? Stop doing that. Stop growing that way. These are wild plants. And if you let them grow wild, they will take over your yard. You want this groomed, nice, beautiful, shaped like you've made this wild thing. You've tamed this wild plant to look beautiful in your yard. And so that's what pruning is all about. And you could go aggressive pruning in winter now because the bugs are gone. The sap really isn't flowing that much. And so you can be much more aggressive. Up to a third of the foliage mass can be cut out of a a tree, a shrub, that kind of stuff. And I'll go further into that, but let me take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. Not everyone can grow wildflowers, but we'll make sure you're not one of them.
At Watters, we know which wildflowers sprout, thrive, and bloom with success.
We're wild about wildflowers with many of our own Arizona blends.
Like our Arizona native mix, butterfly and hummingbird mixes, and all are big, bold, and beautiful.
At Watters, we know wildflowers, and winter's a season to spread new seed.
Watters Garden Center, where people who love their flowers wild, they love to shop for seed.
And back in the studio is Lisa, Watters Lain. She comes each week with your garden questions. Just what are people asking, commenting, coming in for? What are people talking about around the town about their gardens? So welcome back to the studio, Lisa.
Thank you.
Yeah. So your holidays going okay?
Very good. So Christmas done and gone. I've even got it packed up and put away.
Boy,
already.
you're fast. I'm telling you, Christmas Eve, she's ready to just almost go.
Well, we had it up early this year.
We did not.
We did. Yeah, we did. So, anyways, I was ready to pack it away, and it felt good.
I'm proud of you. You didn't throw the poinsettias out the front door. You kept them for they're so beautiful.
They were gorgeous.
They're stunning. She brought in some new varieties, some new colors. You know, we own a garden center. We can have the latest, greatest, newest thing. It's just a shame to have it just destroyed in one night's cold.
Well, yeah, they just have held up so well. And you're right. They are very, very pretty. So I thought, okay, I'll leave them for a little while longer.
Till Valentine's.
We'll see if they make it that long. I don't know.
When they start dropping leaves, that's what bothers me too. I'd say throw them out. They start to whine and complain about the shorter days, or it got cold or too dry, or I don't know. Chuck them then, but they look so good now. Proud of you.
Yeah, thank you.
What are people talking about? What's going on here that we're in between the holidays,
right?
And we're still drinking eggnog, and they're still gardening, or gardeners are always thinking gardening for some reason.
That is true. That is true. So, first question is from Mark. He says, "Does the rain we had last week count as a watering for the month, or do I still need 2 deep waterings in the month?"
You know, Mark, I don't know how much rain came throughout all the regions. So this is broadcast throughout northern Arizona. And so, you know, the higher peaks might have gotten a little more, a little less. So without knowing you get around a mountain, the west side gets a lot of rain. The back side gets none. So you get this, like Granite Mountain has this weird, funky thing. One side gets so much rain, and then the clouds dump their load, and then they float over, and then there's nothing left for the folks in the backside. So I'm not sure. Mark, I don't know. I would say if you have to ask the question, probably you need 2 waterings. So I did do some digging in our yard, did some planting this week, and the ground was dry. So it was dry. And now I've got heavy clay soil. So if you had more sandy soil, maybe it would have been a little bit wetter, but I don't think so. I don't think it was enough.
The other thing to think about is we hadn't had any rain for a long time. So that soil just took everything in, and there's no saturation yet. That's for sure. Yeah. So I would still water. So you should water. For those folks that are tuned in, you should be watering 2 times a month, a deep soak, especially those plants that are newer. If they're under 2 years old, got a newer property, you've got a brand new, let's say a living Christmas tree, you just put in the ground, you need to be watering that twice a month. A deep soak, like you would in June when it's 95 degrees out. Water it that much, and then let it go for a couple of weeks. So it's easy to overdo it this time of year, but it's easier to underdo it because you're thinking, oh, they're cold, they're fine. Yeah. You know, and evergreens especially, they hold those needles until they are dead, and they turn like in a week. They go from green, people go, what happened,
to brown like that. Well, they died a month ago. They just you didn't know it yet. So hydration. If you're thirsty, it probably is too. And if you have to ask the question, go ahead. I would say a deep snow, like 6 inches or more, that's enough moisture. An inch of rain, and I know we didn't get that much, that might be enough. And that's where you're seeing the ground saturate and starting to flow. So that dry creek in the backyard, you're seeing that start to run. We didn't see that because the ground was dry. It absorbed every drop of rain. So it did take the edge off the forest, that kind of stuff. So it's good. It's not bad.
Any rain is good.
Yep.
I would also say if you really want to know, go out with a piece of rebar.
Well, there you go.
A long screwdriver, go poke around in that soil, and that'll help you too.
So you poke around, and if you can get the, let's say your biggest flathead screwdriver in your toolbox, I mean, not a skinny one, a fat, chubby one, or a small piece of rebar. If you can get that in the ground, it's moist. If you got like, oh my gosh, I can't get that in the ground, it's dry. So that's the secret.
Yeah. Okay. Next question is from Cheryl. She has a large peony in a pot. She wants to know if she can trim it back now. And if yes, do you cut it back down to the soil, or do you leave some
good
of the
question.
sprouts there?
That's a good question. This is not just for containers. It's for any peony in the ground, in the garden, raised beds, wherever. So they've grown up. So you've got English peonies are good knee high or taller. Your Ito peonies are hip high. They're up to, they're much bigger, and they're both treated the same way. So you're going to cut that back down to the ground and just as close as you can without nicking the eyelets that might be coming up. I haven't checked ours, so I still have ours up. It's on my to-do list. I'll get there eventually. There's no rush.
Right.
So I'd say by the end of February, you should be cutting back your perennials, including the peonies. So you're cutting those back to, I don't know, an inch or two to the ground, something like that. Now, peonies are very robust. They can go down to minus, I think, 40 or maybe minus 50 degrees. They don't mind the cold at all. And you'll find them start to emerge from the garden, from the soil, from that container, about, sometime after January. So February, sometime you'll start to see, eyelets are coming up. So gardeners go, spring's coming. I can't wait for that flower in April and May. So I'd say take your time, cut it back as close as you can, and watch for, are there eyelets coming out yet? And I don't know yet. But if you do, don't nick those, because this spring's growth. But if not, just cut it back. Doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt it to have it up, not going to hurt it to have it back. They just don't care, but they don't want it, all that extra brown growth. They want last year's growth shading this year's new spring growth. They want the sunshine. So probably if you start to cut it back, the ground will warm up, and you'll start to see that growth happen a little sooner.
And water.
Good question. Yeah. Oh, and water your peonies. Don't let them
go
dry.
Yeah. All right. I think we got time for one more. This one is from Amanda. She is getting ready to, she's got a raised bed she put in last year. She's getting ready, wants to get them ready for the coming spring.
Yeah, easy.
The question is, besides mulch or soil, what else would you add into that bed?
So if it's a brand new bed, or older bed, what happens is in raised beds, because the space is so confined, it's only got this much soil. It can't reach out and go, this is kind of old soil. I need to root over there and pick up some more nutrients over there. It's confined. It's like a container garden. So you need to revitalize or refreshen that. And so for last year's raised beds that had plants in them, there's old roots. There's last year's plants. Pull those things out. Old roots in the ground rot, or they start to compost. They taint the soil, and they keep other roots from growing in that space. That is not good when you're in a confined raised bed space. You want to get rid of those. So filter that out. And then plants use up the soil. And so you need to add some freshness to it. That's where your compost, we make a premium mulch. We compost it for a very long time. And we screen it down to 1/4 inch minus. It's very fine. So it looks like it's almost like coffee grounds. And the plants just respond to it as nutrients. Manure, this time of year, get some barnyard manure. We make a deodorized manure, so it's not gross. So it's like, I realize poop is bad, stinky, gooey, gross, but not ours. We compost it an extra long time, and then we cut it with some real fine, our mulch, and so it comes out deodorized. You can't even tell it's manure. You'll never see a poop nugget, turd in there.
Too much.
Yeah, it's not gonna. That would be a good additive on top of there too. And then here's the insider tip. So our plants are grown in Watters potting soil. So potting soil is a grower's mix. That's our grower's mix. And so our tomatoes or cucumbers or flowers, they're started in this, whether it's a cutting or a seed, we start it in Watters potting soil. If you can have that top layer, let's say top 6 to 8 inches of your containers or raised beds, and you could put a few bags of Watters potting soil on and you're planting directly into that, you're going to have tremendous success, because plants don't like to go through different soil types. They like the same, they like sameness. So if you can give it more of the same thing it's already grown in, it's going to just thrive and you'll get bigger plants sooner, faster. Anyway, top layer, add some Watters potting. So other than that, you're ready to plant starting usually after Valentine's or so.
Your spring plants. Yeah.
Anyway, we are out of time.
Okay.
Ken and Lisa Lain, the Mountain Gardeners. Be right back after this. As the days get longer and brighter, houseplants can struggle and scorch, but we have the solution.
At Watters, we've organized our houseplants from A to Z for the brightest of sunny locations, many even bloom.
With experts that know plants and how to make them grow.
Shipments of the freshest houseplants in town have just arrived from A to Z and ready for a bright new home.
Watters Garden Center, where people who love bright green houseplants, they love to shop, found in Prescott. So one of the biggest moves that we're finding with technology and shipping and this whole change of commerce, especially agriculture, is we have figured out how to have boxing machines and wrap the roots in plastic bags with a rubber band so they don't lose any dirt or have their roots disturbed, and they get to ship across town because you got a special box, keeps them from jostling around. We know how to, you can order directly from the farm now, certain plants. Now I'm in a little bit of a bind. So right now it's the deciduous things, especially edible plants like berries and grapes and that kind of thing. So raspberries, blackberries, grapes, and there's a couple others you can ship. The other stuff, some parts of the country are too cold, and I don't want them freezing on some back dock, turning into an ice cube. They're a little bit insulated, but if they're sitting out on some pallet on some back UPS dock, they'll freeze. I don't want that. So there's a timing with some of this, or crop rotations. Right now, there's maybe a dozen or two plants that you can order. It's kind of fun. These are fully mature plants. If you've ordered plants online before, as you get the plugs, these itty bitty little, they're what we actually start plants with 2 years ago. You've been able to order those because you can slip them into a little tiny box. So these are full matured, like you find them at the garden center sized plants. That's what we figured out how to ship. And I've got a buddy of mine down in Tucson. Looks like he's coming online. I talked him into getting us some of the desert stuff so I can sell some of his stuff direct. You can direct ship it right to your door. So if you're up at St. John now, Utah, we can now ship you direct plants because you don't have a great garden center up there. And so anywhere we can ship plants. It's just amazing what we can do anymore. It's getting fun, actually. So I'm not sure about flowers yet. We're still working on that one. So hydrangeas, I think I do have that one figured out. Peonies for sure have that one figured out. The spring blooming bulbs for sure have that coming out. I got a buddy of mine. He's got a big farm in California, and he does seed potatoes and strawberry plants and onion plants, like specialty sweet potatoes. I partnered with him. So now this is all friendship stuff. Farmers, we just all know each other. And so I go, hey, John, you mind if could you box those for my customers too? So now you got direct access to the product out of the field, shipped right to your farm. I'm not going to carry them in-house here. It's a direct ship thing. So it's exclusively for online use. I'm so excited. This thing's going to come out already. We're starting that right now with the few plants that can ship that don't get damaged with the freeze. So blackberries, they can freeze solid as a rock. They can be buried in a glacier for 100 years, come back out, thaw, and they would still grow. They're that tough. Raspberries, blueberries are really tough. I mean, they grow up in Michigan and Wisconsin where the ground freezes solid. For sure, they're going to ship no problem. So it's kind of fun to watch that. If you want to take a look at some of those, if you go to wattersgardencenter.com, and this is for anyone, now I can ship anywhere. So if you're tuned in from Sedona and you don't want to drive over the hill, or Cottonwood, Camp Verde, don't want to drive over the hill, just ship it right to your door. It's that easy. It ships nationwide, $7.95. I mean, it doesn't take that much. to get plants in a box and shipped to you. It's kind of exciting. WattersGardenCenter.com. There's a shop button up there. I had to get a little creative because some plants, you can see the plants that are available in the store right now. So if you're tuned in from Sedona or Camp Verde, you want to see what's at the shop before you head over, you can take a look. It's in store. And then I've got online exclusive. There's 2 direct from the farm. There's 2 ways to go after this. And it's kind of fun just to look at the pictures. We've tried to go with descriptions that grow here. This is how they're going to look here. Because, you know, you look at blueberries in, let's say, Michigan, they get head high. They get gigantic. I mean, they're like hedgerows. Here, they don't grow as big. So we try to put in, are they wind hardy? Do they take our alkalinity? How much water? Are they high need, low need? We try to break it down. So this is how that plant grows right here, not where it's originally from, whatever. So that includes anyone in this area of the mountains of Arizona. The new fountains are in there. There's you can get direct shipped watering cans and all greenhouses and potting benches. And we've kind of curated not everything, just the better things that our Watters Garden Center, our bar, our what we would sell here. Only now you've got access to more products, and you don't have to go hunt and peck through Amazon and some of these other weird places. I don't even know if that's a good quality. This, we know it's great quality. We know it can ship right to you, and you can go plant it right now. So kind of exciting stuff. I can't wait for the new year to start because we're going full bore ahead. It's going to be so much fun. Now I'm trying to get the seed sources. I know all the seed catalogs are out now. So I'm trying to get all of our seed available so you can see what's here at the store, what just arrived. It's kind of spring. It's basically here at Watters Garden Center. Be right back with more after this. Hi, Ken here with the finds of the week and our Deodar cedars.
A standalone tree so beautifully shaped it's referred to as the Christmas tree.
Fastest growing of the evergreen trees, used for quick screens, windbreaks, and privacy.
Graceful arches sweep through the landscape in colors of blue to green from the stately tree.
An evergreen lover's dream for fast, thick growth.
Watters Garden Center, 1815 Iron Springs Road in Prescott. For people who love majestic evergreens, they love to shop.
And back in the studio, Lisa Watters Lain. She comes back, well, not just once, but twice each show. So she comes in for her Q&A section. Then she comes into, she just agreed years and years and years and decades ago
I'm not that old.
to do this, to come in and just take a segment and give me a different perspective, give us, the listeners, a softer side of gardening.
Yes.
That's my gal. So Lisa, welcome back to the studio.
Thank you. Always good.
What you got, what you've been thinking about garden wise? You got the whole house packed up.
Yes.
What are you thinking about? Bringing more houseplants home or something, or more?
So I put Christmas away because I love Christmas, but there's a time. Got to put it away.
I love Christmas more.
So my thing of putting Christmas away always makes me want to move the furniture around in the house, or
I can see
I don't know,
that.
because it just gives you a time, fresh start.
Yeah.
Maybe New Year, fresh start. Do I move the sofa? So I kind of start playing with things. But yes, I realized I have room for at least 2 more house plants on this one table that we have by a window. So yes, I'm going to be.
I was going to ask, big ones or small ones?
Big. We don't have room for great big in our house because we have big furniture, but we have lots of shelves and spots to put houseplants.
Yeah, it's perfect. So, well, it's beautiful. What you're doing. It looks fantastic. I like the way it's coming together. So 2000, the next year is just going to be fantastic.
Right. So I noticed, houseplant sales always seem to go up the first part of the year.
Yeah.
And that's because people like me, they rearrange, they remodel, the tree's gone. They're like, oh, it's kind of bare, or maybe I need something there. So it's always fun to go start thinking about houseplants, shopping houseplants. So I thought we would talk about a few things that you should probably think about before you start shopping. Okay.
Like which garden center to go to? Like Watters Garden Center? Okay. Figure their fans are tuned in for a reason. Right.
First one is light. Check if in the spot where you want to put this plant, is it a bright light? Is it a dark light? Is it right in front of a window? I mean, there's things to think about, the setting of where you're going to want to put this plant, because that makes a difference in the type of plant that you want to have in that environment.
Sure.
So if you have a really dark space, some bathrooms can be dark, hallways,
Back bedroom that you forget about all the time.
Right. So if you have a spot that's a low light, pick a plant like a ZZ plant or Sansevieria, Chinese evergreen. Those are all plants that don't mind. They're still going to grow and look nice, even if there's not a lot of light there. If you have a nice bright room, it gives you a lot of options. I always discourage people from putting a plant directly in front of a window. Especially if there's sun coming through that window.
South facing. So north is a little different than south facing. It's a little hotter.
Definitely. But if you're getting sun right through that window, it's very easy to burn your plant leaves. And then the other thing is the cold. Sometimes when we get this winter, if that plant is up against that window, you'll actually get cold damage on that plant. So just kind of a few things to think about as far as where you want to place that plant in your home, because you want to pick the right one for the right environment. The other one is ease. How much of a houseplant guru are you?
I want them to be exotic and super easy.
That doesn't work that way. So I've gotten better with houseplants, but I started with ones that I knew were easy, that I knew how to take care of. Like I said before, ZZ plant. That one's terrific because you only water every 3 weeks.
When you remember.
Like that, yeah. Sansevierias or mother-in-law tongue is another one that's very low water usage. Chinese evergreen. There's some that are just, you don't have to think about them a lot. And those are the ones that I like a lot. I've tried to branch out. I've tried to get into some alocasias, zebra plant, things like that. And I've struggled a little bit with those. I'm still working with them.
You shouldn't travel so much. That's the problem. You're out of town for 2-3 weeks at a time.
They just tend to be a little more persnickety.
Yeah.
So if this is new to you, or you feel like you have brown thumbs, take the time and pick the right plant for you. Don't start with one that's going to takes a lot of your time and energy. Get one that you kind of just walk by and go, oh, look how pretty that is. And don't overwater it, because that's certainly something.
That's one where it does pay if you're just starting out, especially, and it's just kind of hard. You go into the grocery store and you see this pretty plant, you go, oh, I want to buy that. Mm-hmm. And it's affordable, and you're on the shopping spree with your watermelon and your frozen pizza. This is if you're starting out, or you got a specific room that you've struggled with, or you're just not sure, come talk to professionals. This is where a garden center is here to help you. Mm-hmm. We've got a little bit bigger, healthier plant. So there's a transition between the farm to here. So there's a way to get it hardier for in your house. And then which one do I go with? Well, tell us where you're at. Take a picture. Yeah. We'll tell you which one. This is a perfect spot for this. We're growing it here. So our radars are always up for where plants grow best. Right. We can help. We don't mind sharing that information with you.
Yeah, that was one of my other points.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Is get good information.
Yeah.
Because you're right. We know you can buy houseplants. Everybody and their dog has a houseplant. But you want to get one that's going to work for you, and you want good advice. Yeah. So many times, some plants like moisture, some don't. Your fertilizer makes a big difference in which fertilizer you're choosing, which potting soil, getting the right pot for your plant. And if you take the plant home and a few weeks down the road, something's going wrong with it, you want to be able to come back to a place and go, hey, what's going on with this plant? It's kind of got a weird look. And all of our people are excellent with houseplants. We can really offer advice, give good suggestions. So that's important as well. But that being said, new houseplants, we'll have our new shipment of houseplants in next week.
Okay.
So all kinds of cool new ones. Yeah. And think about houseplants. I guess it's like all of gardening. They're coming up with new varieties. It's kind of fun. It's really fun. We're used to the pothos. I mean, who hasn't had a pothos at one point in their life? Every dorm room, I think, has a pothos. Yeah, that's right. Which is great because they're easy care plants to grow. But they're coming out with new varieties of pothos. My new favorite one is the neon pothos, just because it's just a really bright green cheery color. Yeah. And I love, in a house especially, it really gives you some added color into your home. The philodendrons have been around for eons, but they've come up with some really new cool ones where like the stems are a real dark red with the green leaves. They've got a neon philodendron. So it's just really cool, different colors that they're coming out with. So it's not just the same old pothos that your grandmother had.
This year's Color of the Year by Pantone. That's it. Pantene's hair wash. Pantone is blue. So they're going with a not real dark like royal blue, but anyway, darker than
it was peach.
I've seen so many different ones. Maybe it is peach. Anyway, color is the thing. Yeah. Not white. So green looks really good with white, but if you've got color on your walls other than eggshell, probably the color, the lighter, the red stems, the neons, they really pop. They really look like designer-esque in a room it's got more new furniture or something. And you need something alive that just really brings it out and go, wow, I just want to read a book here. Watch the game here. This is great.
Right. Yeah, I love the new lighter colors. I love the variegated colors.
Oh,
I think those are really neat, attractive. And then speaking of colors, we also have a lot of new pottery in. So you can also get that beautiful new plant. Yeah. You can put it in a beautiful new pot. We can actually pot for you. We do that for people at very minimal cost.
Yeah.
And we'll help you get the right size. Because what I find is a lot of people jump up in too big a size. And then they go, what's wrong with my plant? It's just kind of sitting there. Well, because you put it in that great big pot, it's rooting out. Yeah. It's forgetting that it has to grow up. It's just putting on roots. So we'll help you get the right size, the right soil. Get a moisture meter. Oh my goodness.
The easiest tool ever. Cheapest, easiest tool at every house. If you have a house plant, you need one.
They take the guess out of it. When I water the houseplant room here at the store, I have a moisture meter in my pocket because soils can be deceiving. And what you think is wet is dry, and what you think is dry is wet. Yeah. So that moisture meter takes that guess out of it. So if you have a plant that like a spathiphyllum, peace lily, they like that moistness. Yeah. So you want to keep them a little more on the moist side as opposed to a ZZ or a Chinese evergreen that wants to be dry.
Yeah, bone.
So, it takes that guesswork out. So get the right tools, the right information, the right plants.
We are out of time, Lisa. Great advice. Thank you so much. That's super good insight. So Ken and Lisa Lain, the Mountain Gardeners. Be right back after this.
My living room feels so empty.
Now that the Christmas tree is gone, the house just seems so blah.
Brighten it up with a big, bold, beautiful plant from Watters Garden Center.
Fill that cavernous space with tall tropicals, colossal cactus, and sizable succulents that bring the great outdoors indoors.
Make a gorgeous green space you can enjoy all year, not just for a season.
Unique, exclusive, one-of-a-kind houseplants found only at Watters Garden Center in Prescott. So I started the show by just saying I'm starting to prune. I'm cleaning things up. So I don't want pack rats to get underneath all my rose bushes or down in the shrubbery. I'm cleaning those up. I'm pruning back the disease out of my oaks, trying to keep them cleaned up. I'm getting branches that are floating, that are growing straight to the ground, cleaning those up. And so it's time to do that. And that's kind of your initial step. So when you're creating a relaxing space, cleanup is where you start because that makes life easier. So you've got disease stuff. I had a winter blooming jasmine. It's starting to bloom. It's confused. Usually it blooms late January, February. It's a month early. But it's been warm, and so it's in bloom. I took a close look. I'm admiring the flowers. Going, it's so beautiful. And then I go, oh, you've got some leaf spot going on. What is happening? So I thinned it out, gave it some more open space, let the air flow through it. When I got done, I took half the foliage mass out of it, and now it just looks happy. It's perky now. It stands upright a little better. It's blooming even better now. And so cleanup really helps to getting rid of the clutter. And then watch your views. Trees just want to grow into your best views. Trim them back or accent. That's where I like to actually plant a couple aspens on either side of, looking at Thumb Butte or Granite Mountain or Glassford Hills. I'm going to frame it like a picture frame. And so you can do that with your plants. Use them to accentuate, draw the eye to that part of where just a beautiful sunset. If you're a breakfast person, the coffee, just looking at a sunrise and the hummingbirds out by the water features. Oh, it's magic. It's beautiful. I mean, not in December, not in January, but it sure is up until like a month ago. I was out there enjoying the backyard. It's been gorgeous. That's why we live here. It's gorgeous all the time. Comfortable seating is a must. And we're coming up on, all the home stores will have their white sales, and here's the outdoor living furniture sales. Get a nice, beautiful sofa, settee, table, someplace comfortable and just go out and enjoy that outdoor room, that space. It makes a difference. I like new cushions, new pillows. I don't know, anyway, I won't go too far down that. I like decorating. It's color. It's just fun. Water. I don't think, especially in Arizona, we use water enough. And it can be recycled, recirculating water features. So I've got a pond, a pretty big one, but it recycles. So it really doesn't use that much water. And the new water features, they have a lot of sound with just a few gallons of water. Your hummingbirds will just be so happy. Right now, I notice my robins, they come in flocks and they almost like bombard these certain areas of the water feature. Or my front, in the front yard, I've got a courtyard with a granite obelisk kind of feature that water bubbles up. In the backyard, full on water features, water flowing through, stream yards. It's beautiful. They like both of them, but they do attract birds. I noticed the butterflies this week. They were out in the front yard where a little water kind of pooled. They were taking some hydration. They've been on my alyssums and lobelias, very thick, because one of the few things blooming right now. My winter blooming jasmine, one of the few things blooming. So they're taking advantage of that before it gets too cold. Then they start to hibernate for the next month or so. So they're trying to bulk up. But water features have the sound of running water on that back deck as you're looking out over a vista. There's something about it that just feels so right. Shade, 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 especially here in Arizona, creates a much more relaxing space. And this is where your shade trees come in. It could be, or pine trees. So like Austrian pines, ponderosa pines, green mountain pines, deodar cedars, these fast growing evergreens, but also your leafy things. So I like my maple trees, sycamores, oaks, all these plants they have leaves out when it's hot, but right now they've dropped their leaves. So you get the solar gain in the winter, but you get the solar shade in the summer. It's a great way to go. Oh my gosh. Cuts the wind down, cuts the noise and dust down. It gives your birds a place to rest and coo over you as you're reading the paper in the morning. They're just celebrating with you. Creates a magical space, that those trees in the yard creating that shade for you. It's one of the keys to a relaxing backyard. The right landscape makes or breaks how much back-breaking work you have to do. Getting the right plants, easy care, low maintenance plants. So yes, I thinned out my winter blooming jasmine. It was getting a little thick. I hadn't done it in like 4 or 5 years, but it's really a low care plant. It's evergreen. It's got waxy leaves. I can count on it to bloom. It's the very first thing to bloom. It even blooms just before the camellias do. And so I just have this plant. Yes, they do take a little maintenance, but I'm not a slave to it. And so I don't plant, cottonwoods. They're always lifting up foundations. They're continual maintenance. You have to feed and water them like crazy all the time, or they're not happy. They drop their leaves. They're always dropping branches. Maples don't do that. Pine trees don't do that. So there's quite a few trees that don't have any issues. Birch don't do that. So your smaller trees like the blooming red buds and crab apples, super low care. In fact, there's a native variety of red bud that grows here. And so plant those kinds of plants so you don't have to prune as much or fertilize, or once they get up to size. Arizona cypress, once it's to size, never water it again. No care. So you've got silverberry, get it up to size. It's a native, never water it again. It's fine on its own by itself. plant those kinds of plants so you can just relax and enjoy your backyard. It's kind of this. That's why we're here, to help you choose the right one that's going to be easier to care for in the long run. So, and then inviting decks and patios. We all have a patio or a deck or both. We've got 2 patios, 1 deck. It's a 2-story house. And so the front yard, we created a reading room. It's a big, that when the kids went off to college, we pulled the lawn, put down pavers, which is a big courtyard with containers, and it's got water features. It just feels good. In the morning, we go out and just read the paper. It's relaxing. The sun is just right then. At the end of the day, we do the back patio. Back is north side, so it's too cold to enjoy right now. But starting in April, it is the place. In the afternoon, no matter how hot it gets, it's the perfect temperature. It's where we have all the grills and furniture, the sofas, the hot tubs, the fire pits. It's all back there because you just want to be there as the sun sets and be around, having another burger coming off the grill. It's another room. It's a living room outside. Then the deck above it overlooks the Dells. It's just the vistas. Go up there, turn the fire. We got a fire pit up there as well. Seems dangerous, but it's propane. His fire pit, the flame coming up. It's over a story off the ground, and the vistas are magical. Oh my gosh. I just want to be out there right now. So relaxed. We've got 3 basic rooms in our yard. And that's create rooms, create areas where you just want to gather. We actually have another room. We call it our herb garden. It's really beside the garage. It's got steps from the front yard to the backyard, but it's so beautiful. It's got welcome signs and containers just that glow, literally glow in the dark, so people can come and go and see where they're going. But it's almost like this side private secret garden from the front yard to the backyard. And so we've created these spaces with lighting. We've got statuary. So as you go through the backyard, come to the back gate, a gargoyle greets you. Okay, it's kind of spooky, but you kind of go, oh, that's kind of cool. I like that. Oh, wow. And it's uplit at night. So it's just, we've created these relaxing places. And the last one I'll leave you with, privacy. It now is your time. You can plant evergreens. If you need to create some privacy, put your Arizona cypress in now, so you get the growth come next spring in a couple months, because they're still rooting. So you can get an extra season out of it by planting the winter. You get more spring growth out of it. So take advantage of that now to stage that out. So you can put that in the ground, and then you'll get more privacy when you're outdoors next spring. Anyway, that's it for this segment. Got a lot more for you. Creating backyards that are relaxing. We can help you with that. Not everyone can grow wildflowers, but we'll make sure you're not one of them.
At Watters, we know which wildflowers sprout, thrive, and bloom with success.
We're wild about wildflowers with many of our own Arizona blends.
Like our Arizona native mix, butterfly and hummingbird mixes, and all are big, bold, and beautiful.
At Watters, we know wildflowers, and winter's a season to spread new seed.
Watters Garden Center, where people who love their flowers wild, they love to shop for seed.
So as I mentioned earlier in the show, we're closed between Christmas and New Year's, giving the team off. I think that's a perk I can do as a business owner and make it a better place to work for my team. And so I think more employers, we need to do that more, take care of our people. It's kind of nice not to have any pressure, not to think, just to wake up when you want, just not have to rethink the next day before you hit the sack. So kind of relaxing. It really helps you recharge. Next spring, it's already starting here at Watters Garden Center. I mean, you always have to think ahead. As a retail, you're always thinking a season ahead. Well, spring, this is our season, and it starts with garden classes. And I had a couple classes here. Let's see. It's Happy Homebound Houseplants. I think something like that. Take a look at wattersgardencenter.com. We've got them all listed there through the entire spring season. So fruit trees, how to water, gardening for newcomers, they're all right there. So every Saturday at 9:30, we'll have them in the greenhouse. No matter the weather, we can control the temperature the light, the wind. We've got a greenhouse. That's what greenhouses are for. They're there to make guests comfortable. And part of the guests are our plants and you. So it's kind of fun. The new pottery for 2026. This is the time. So when we open back up, this is the time when you want to get your big sets. So if you want matching pairs on either side, you want to grab those early because they go, and you've got to order these by the semi-load. I mean, by entire container. And so you're ordering hundreds and hundreds of pots all at once. I mean, houseplant size, that's pretty easy. We can get more of those, but great big resort size or $1 million home size containers. You just want to grab those. Don't wait until spring when they've been picked over some, because it won't be until probably June, midsummer, late spring, early summer before you can restock. And they only get restocked twice a year. So just kind of, so you know the sequence of how spring hits. Same with fountains. So you look at all these, we've got many fountains, benches, statues, bird baths. Those don't get, they're so big, so bulky that you got to order by semi-load. And so we've had an entire truckload of concrete type materials, not the cheesy plastics that fade, that break. The javelin are going to jump up on it and break it. The dog's going to try to drink out of your bird bath and dump the top. These are heavy, substantial, real garden art pieces. Those you want to have first choices on. And so there's some sequence. So grab those ahead of time so you've got the first kind of pick at everything. But it's starting. We'll start shipping the plants. Well, we're shipping directly from the farm now. Take a look at that. It says online exclusive at wattersgardencenter.com. You can see what's in the store and you can see what's at the farm. You'll see huge numbers like there's 1,000 of them. Well, there are, but they're not just coming to us. They're coming to several places. So take a look at that. But it takes about, 5-7 days, and they're at your door, ready to plant. And yes, you can plant blueberries and blackberries and raspberries and grapes now. Well, may I just wish you and yours, a prosperous new year to you and your gardens. Until next week, I'll be camping out here at Watters Garden Center. As the days get longer and brighter, houseplants can struggle and scorch, but we have the solution.
At Watters, we've organized our houseplants from A to Z for the brightest of sunny locations, many even bloom.
With experts that know plants and how to make them grow.
Shipments of the freshest houseplants in town have just arrived from A to Z and ready for a bright new home.
Watters Garden Center, where people who love bright green houseplants, they love to shop, found in Prescott. For a more fruitful garden, increased success in the landscape that just feels better, then tune in daily to the Mountain Gardener podcast. Subscribe through your favorite podcast streamer or visit wattersgardencenter.com. Better yet, visit me directly right here at Watters Garden Center. Thanks for tuning in.